Vice Mayor Angela Williams Graves, and then please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and your many displays of love through tangible and intangible blessings too numerous to measure. And for that, again, we say thank you. Bless the city of Norfolk, bless every citizen who resides within its boundaries, and every city employee who works to make our city great. Bless our mayor, our city manager, and this council as we labor together in the calling of public service. Give us the wisdom to govern fairly and ethically with equality, integrity, and compassion, and allow us to represent our city in a spirit of excellence. I pray that you will guide us and give us strength and wisdom, and give us the strength and wisdom we need to make the decisions that face us. These and all other blessings we ask in your Son's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thanks very much. The clerk will please call the roll.
The rabbi comes. I don't have a problem with that.
What about all these people that
Ms. Graves,
don't believe in his son?
Aye.
Here. Ms. Johnson,
Here.
Mr. Protogiru,
Here.
Mr. Riddick,
Here.
Mr. Smigiel,
Here.
Dr. Whibley,
Here.
Mr. Nguyen,
Here.
Mr. Frame,
Here. The motion is to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting, please.
Ms. Graves,
Aye.
Ms. Johnson,
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru,
Aye.
Mr. Riddick,
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley,
Aye.
Mr. Nguyen, Mr. Frame.
The clerk will please read the resolution for the closed meeting.
A resolution certifying a closed meeting of the Council of the City of Norfolk held in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. Adopt the resolution. Ms. Graves.
Aye.
Ms. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru.
Aye.
Mr. Riddick.
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley.
Aye.
Mr. Nguyen.
Aye.
Mr. Frame.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Norfolk City Council chambers. We're glad to see all of you. Thanks for coming out tonight. Got a full house. For those of you who do not regularly attend our council sessions, the process which we're going to follow is the first thing we will do is take up the public hearings. And we have, I think, 6 of them on tonight's agenda, and I know a number of you are here for public hearing 6. At the conclusion of the public hearings, we'll move directly into the regular agenda items. There are 25 of those matters. If anybody would like to address the council on those items, all you had to do was sign up for that. At the conclusion of the regular agenda, if anyone would like to address the city council on a non-agenda item, something that we call new business, you'll be given that opportunity. But in order to have your name called, you must have first signed a slip of paper, which the clerk has made available in the lobby behind the council chambers before the meeting began. And so I think a number of you have elected to do that as well. So again, thank you for coming. We do have one ceremonial item tonight, and that is Mr. Ed Lazaron. Ed, where are you? Would you like to come forward? This Ed is with the Friends of the Norfolk Public Library, and he's going to talk to us about the summer reading program. Thank you.
Mayor Frame, City Council, I'm here tonight to report on this year's successful summer reading program at the Norfolk Public Library. I'm a member of the Friends of the Norfolk Public Library. This summer, the library celebrated 6 weeks of Read to the Rhythm. More than 4,500 young people read for more than 1 million minutes this summer, earning prizes for their efforts. Students logged time for the reading component of this program through participation at the Norfolk Public Libraries, Norfolk Public Schools, and some of the parks and recreation facilities. In support of their reading efforts, a variety of special program events included pirates, music, magic, balloon art, robotics, science, building with Legos, and much more. Nearly 12,000 youth attended the individual programs over the course of the summer. Performers at these events are funded by the Friends of the Norfolk Public Library and the Norfolk Public Library Foundation. Summer reading program is perhaps the most important activity for those students as they transition from one school year to the next. National research shows that students who participate in public library summer reading programs scored higher on reading achievement tests at the beginning of the next school year than those who did not participate. Children who don't read during the summer can lose as much as 2 months of learning time when they return to school. So for many of the students, the public library is the only place that they can go to get books to read during the summer months. Continued support of this important program helps those students return to school ready to learn at their full potential. Tweens and teens rocked out this summer as part of the Rockstar Teens program. Participants received a backstage pass and the chance to go on tour to become a teen rock star. Each time one of these aspiring rock musicians attended the programs at any Norfolk Public Library location, they received a stamp on their backstage pass. After attending 6 programs and logging as many as 300 minutes of reading time, then they were an official rock star. And they were entered into a drawing to win a gift certificate at a local gift store. Of special note was the constant variety of activities in the teen zone on the 5th floor at Slover Library. Having this exciting new space as a magnet for teens allowed the staff to offer age-appropriate programs and events like they've never been able to do in the past. So rounding out the summer reading program is programming for adults who record their reading minutes to compete for prizes as well. There's a repeat interest year after year in this program. It's the library's goal to broaden the appeal to entice more participants next year. Staff and the Friends of Norfolk Public Library will be exploring ideas over the coming months to build interest and support for this effort. In conclusion, the Friends would like to thank the city for its continued support of summer reading programs and the Norfolk Public Library. We commend the library staff for their success in engaging the students of our city in a fun-filled summer of reading, learning, and cultural enrichment. As these programs grow in years to come, we, the Friends of the Library, look forward to our part in making Norfolk a city of readers ready for civic engagement. Thank you.
Great. Ed, thank you very much. Thank you, Ed, for the report. Ed, Mr. Lazaron. I just wanted to thank you. I mean, the Friends is an all-volunteer organization, and we know how much good that you do, and, you know, this program is one that you put on, so we appreciate that. We thank you for the effort. The libraries are improving in our city. They're even becoming not just places where kids can read in the summer, but, as we learned tonight, workforce development centers for us as well. So we're glad to know the Slover's being put to good use. The city council is actually going to meet there next week in its retreat.
Terrific.
First time. So again,
Terrific.
thanks for everything, and thanks to our friends with the Friends as well.
We look forward to improving the efforts in years to come. Thank you.
Very much. Okay. All right, that concludes the ceremonial matters. We'll move then to public hearing number 1, please.
Mr. President, the applicant has requested that this item be continued until October the 27th.
All right, then the motion is to continue to October the 27th. I call the roll.
Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Public hearing 2.
Public hearing 2 scheduled for this day on the application of Noah Banchow for a zoning text amendment to repeal Section 11-42 Green Gifford Localized Sign Overlay District of the zoning ordinance and for a change of zoning from large-scale commercial and Green Gifford Localized Sign Overlay Districts to conditional C2 Corridor Commercial District. And the Planning Commission by a 6-0 vote recommends approval.
All right, Mr. Randy Royal is here. Randy, there you are. Okay. If you have any questions. Okay, you can call the roll, please.
I have 2 ordinances. The first is an ordinance to repeal Section 11-42 of the zoning ordinance of the City of Norfolk 1992 entitled Green Gifford Localized Sign Overlay District. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Public hearing 3.
I have a second ordinance, Mr. President.
Okay.
An ordinance to rezone properties located at 6420, 6424, 6440, and 6506 North Military Highway from C4 to conditional C2. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Was it public hearing 3 then, right?
Public hearing 3 scheduled for this day on the application of George Yancey for a change of zoning to modify the conditions on property zoned conditional, again, Historic and Cultural Conservation District on property located at 1201 Colonial Avenue. By 6-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
All right, no one signed up to address the council in this matter, so you can call the roll.
I have an ordinance to rezone property located at 1201 Colonial Avenue to change conditions on property zone conditional HCG3 district. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiero?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Public hearing 4.
Public hearing 4 is scheduled for this day to hear comments on authorizing the sale to the city of Suffolk of a certain parcel of property located at the intersection of Kings Fork Road and Waters Road in the city of Suffolk, Virginia, for the sum of $35,000 and approving the purchase and sale agreement.
Call the roll.
And I have an ordinance authorizing the sale to the city of Suffolk of a parcel of property located at the intersection of Kings Fork and Waters Roads in the city of Suffolk for the sum of $35,000 and approving the purchase and sale agreements. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiero?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Public hearing 5.
Public hearing 5 scheduled for this day to hear comments on approving the sublease to Portsmouth Community Health Center, Inc. upon certain conditions of a portion of certain property located at 3755 Virginia Beach Boulevard, leased by the city of Norfolk for its Community Services Board, and authorizing the city manager to negotiate and execute a sublease agreement on behalf of the city. And the ordinance is an ordinance approving the sublease to Portsmouth Community Health Center, Inc. of a portion of certain property at 3755 Virginia Beach Boulevard, leased by the city for its Community Services Board, and authorizing the manager to negotiate and execute a sublease agreement on behalf of the city. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiero?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Public hearing 6.
Public hearing 6 scheduled for this day to hear comments on approving a land disposition and development contract between the city of Norfolk as seller and St. Paul's Apartments LP as purchaser for real property consisting of 4.54 acres, more or less, and located at St. Paul's Boulevard and Wood Street in the city of Norfolk.
Okay, there are 11 or 12 of you signed up to address the council on this matter. When I call your name, if you'll come to the podium, please, identify yourself for the record by giving us your full name and your present home address, and then please limit your remarks to 3 minutes, okay? Miles Leon. Miles, you're here to answer questions, even better, okay,
Made you 3 minutes.
okay. Joe Austin.
Sorry for the drama. Joe Austin, 215 Brook Avenue. I'm sorry the pastor wasn't first because he represented the church. I'm against this. You wouldn't drop this down at St. Pius or anywhere else like that. Historically, African American, I very rarely bring race up. I wasn't raised to that, but this is quite sensitive. You're going to drop this down, and why Nussbaum? There wasn't any women, Asians, Native Americans, African Americans to buy this land? What about one of those dollar menu deals you do for $1, you loan somebody land for a year? Why didn't that happen? Why this? I see Mr. Johnson back there from the CTU for the school. He's back. He's a part of this, so everybody's gonna get a cut, and they're campaign donators. It's a disrespect to that church and that street, and it wouldn't happen at various churches in this city. Now, the pastor's gonna come up later on. I met the man last week at a friend of mine's funeral, but this is, why Nussbaum? Is there nobody else? Why Wilcox and Savage? Is there nobody else? Nobody? But I'm happy to be here tonight. I wanna thank God for the opportunity to come out here and speak, but I want you to think about it. This was in your neighborhood, your church. They just drop down some buddies of yours that's gonna get paid by city money. And disrespect a crucial part of this, and then it's gated, 127 places, only 6 of them go to poor folks. So where everybody's going at? It's gonna be about money. And I'm sorry I was the first one I'll pass because I should have been first, but this is wrong.
Thank you, Joe. Reverend John Burton.
My name is John Burton. I live at 690 Red Mill Road in the city of Norfolk. I pastor St. John's AME Church, one of the historic churches downtown, and we have been in the same place since 1886 in the same building. Good evening, Mayor Frame and Vice Mayor Williams-Graves, and members of the City Council. I am here to represent historic St. John's AME Church, where I proudly serve as its pastor. I am here to express my support for the proposed sale of the property surrounding the church to S.L. Nussbaum Realty Company for the development and operation of a 126-unit multifamily community. In addition to helping fulfill the needs of quality, affordable housing and offering desirable amenities to an important segment of the local workforce, the proposed urban-style buildings will complement the landscape and inviting front porch concept, would create an attractive and a viable neighborhood for the church, and its potential new neighbors, who might also be new parishioners. The combination of the clubhouse, the rental office, would create an active corner to what is now just a vacant piece of property. The increase in downtown residents would provide a foundation for future retail growth and the first high-end residential project east of St. Paul's Boulevard. The proposed project could be a catalyst for future investments in bringing Norfolk's vision for the St. Paul's Quadrant, in which I have been a part of for the past 10 years. I asked the members of Historic St. John's who come here to support me and to support the sale of this property to S.L. Nussbaum to please stand. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming down tonight. Thank you, Reverend Burton. Cheryl Montgomery.
Cheryl Montgomery, 1323 Windsor Point Road, Norfolk, Virginia. Mr. Mayor, members of council, I'm here tonight to speak to the S.L. Nussbaum project. As you know, the Poverty Commission in June of 2014 wrote recommendations about deconcentrating poverty in our city, which rests at about 17% right now. Within the immediate neighborhood, that poverty level is over 70%. And I think this type of a project with 126 units will be the impetus for Tidewater area to change in the future. We've got to be sensitive about all the changes that's being recommended and can be recommended to the council. But I think your individual decisions about this area is very important, and this is one that could be a catalyst. We have brought the private sector in. They're putting their money forward. There hasn't been a residential unit built in that community since 1955. So I think this is something I would strongly suggest to the council that they support the LDDC. Thank you.
Thank you. Mary Miller.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Mary Miller, 7600 Glen Eagles Road, Norfolk, Virginia. I am here this evening to speak on behalf of the Downtown Norfolk Board of Directors in support of the land disposition and development contract for the St. Paul's Apartments. In February, representatives from S.L. Nussbaum made a presentation to the Board of Directors on the St. Paul's Apartment project. The board voted to support the project at that time, recognizing the need for affordable housing opportunities in and near downtown, which is the major employment center for the city of Norfolk. The proposed project will provide employees in various industry segments an opportunity to choose to live near their place of employment. Since the board's review of the project, a number of significant changes have been incorporated into the plans for the development, which even further integrate it into the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Tom Johnson. Not okay. Sarah Kingsley Foley.
Sarah Kingsley Foley, 940 West Princess Anne. I attended a DNC strategic plan meeting and was very excited and skeptical to hear about that they wanted more affordable housing for young professionals. And I spoke up at that meeting and said, how are you going to make this happen? And SL Nussbaum talked to me afterwards and told me about their plan for this affordable housing. And I was very excited. I'm extremely passionate about helping young professionals in the area. And I know that Norfolk stands for live and play and work. And we need to help people live where they work and play. And for 6 years, I struggled living in downtown Norfolk because I could not find anything appropriate for my income level. For 3 of the last 6 years, I've been under the poverty level, and I struggled to find something to live in. And when they showed me the rental prices for these units, I said, where's this been the last 6 years? This would have been wonderful. I'm thrilled to learn about this project, and having 126 units would be very good for low-income families. I'm a single mother, and this would have been very helpful for me and my son. And I think my duty as someone who has struggled living where they work and struggled with trying to find a good paying job and a safe, affordable place to live, my duty is to help other people have that opportunity now that I'm not there anymore. And something that, you know, we talk about brain drain, we talk about fighting brain drain here in Norfolk and keeping young talent here, and they can't afford it. I've had so many friends move away, and we need to help them stay. And most of the housing around here is based off the military housing allowance of about $1,400 a month. And 6 years ago, if I was trying to go by normal budgeting standards that people suggest what you should spend on your rent, I would have needed a place that cost $325 a month. And you cannot find that downtown and work downtown. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity to have these units here for young professionals, for single mothers, and for people of lower income. Thank you.
Thank you. Marie Murphy?
Good evening,
Good evening.
Mayor, City Council. My name is Marie Simmons Murphy. I live at 530 Briar Hill Road, Norfolk, Virginia. I stand in agreement with my pastor and our church on the church is in favor of this proposal for St. Paul's apartment project. This project would improve housing opportunities for downtown employees such as retail, hospital, police, fire, and rescue employees, and many others who would otherwise have to go elsewhere for quality housing that was affordable to them. St. Paul's Apartments would replace a long vacant site with vibrant community, creating and enhancing setting for our church and providing a good start to the area development which has anticipated by the comprehensive plan for St. Paul's Quadrant. We hope that the City Council will agree with us and will vote to approve this welcomed and much-needed improvement to our church neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Brenda Cornick? Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of the City Council. My name is Brenda J. Cornick. I reside at 3410A Tate Terrace, Norfolk, Virginia. And I am with St. John's AME Church at 545 East Butte Street, Norfolk, Virginia. I echo the sentiments of Reverend Burton and Parishioner One, and I ask that you, as city leaders, take positive action on what we believe is best for our church and the surrounding community, particularly with its proximity to the new HRT transportation depot and the Tide Light Rail Line. The proposed St. Paul's apartment project would provide an excellent housing opportunity for a group of hard-working people, many of whom provide important services to our community, and potentially for students who are the future of our community. The site of the proposed St. Paul's apartment development has been vacant for many years, and its condition is not a good representation of the vision we have for our city. We believe this project has been well-planned to respect that vision. Thank you.
Thank you. James Wofford.
Mr. Mayor, Council, City Manager, James M. Wofford, 300 Monticello Avenue. I'm here as a business operator here in the city of Norfolk, and I just want to say that the leadership of the city of Norfolk has never shied away from making transformational decisions for the city. And I think this project is one of them, to allow folks that work at our businesses and other businesses an opportunity to improve their quality of living. So I beseech the council to pass this resolution and allow this project to go forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Jason Cook. Mr. Cook. Okay. All right, well, that concludes the list of folks who would like to speak. So unless there are any comments, I think we're ready to vote. The clerk will call the roll.
I have an ordinance approving a land disposition and development contract between the City of Norfolk as seller and St. Paul's Apartments LP as purchaser for real property consisting of 4.54 acres, more or less, and located at St. Paul's Boulevard and Wood Street in the City of Norfolk. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Before I make my vote, I just want to, first of all, I want to thank all the folks who came down. There's plenty of other things that you could have done on a Tuesday night other than come down here. When this project first came before us, I really wasn't crazy about it. We had instructed the staff to go back and see what else they could do, while also possibly vetting other opportunities for the site. In the meantime, SL Nussbaum reached out to the community. They did a lot of work, and they came back to us with a project that really had been reframed, had been improved, and was a much nicer project than what they originally presented to us for this particular location. There are a lot of communities downtown, and I had the opportunity to sample or survey rents when a friend of mine was looking at renting, and I ultimately decided for them that they were going to buy a house. But the rent prices were astronomical. I just couldn't believe how much it cost to rent and what people pay for rent as opposed to paying for a mortgage. And so looking at the project and looking at the income levels of individuals who will be living in the property, the types of jobs that they hold. When I first came to work for the City of Norfolk, I made a little more than $24,000. I think it was $24,084 to be exact. And I didn't know back then I could negotiate that up. But that was my starting salary. And I wanted somewhere nice to live, and I wanted somewhere safe to live, and I wanted somewhere kind of cushy and luxury to live. And this particular development here is a start for the entire quadrant. We've got to start somewhere, and this particular development is a start for the entire quadrant. I appreciate SL Nussbaum and all the work that they have done. We have had some other developers that are working as well, and we're open to working with developers who want to continue what is started here in the St. Paul's quadrant, because I believe that the final product that will be here will be a product that will attract more development. It will attract more developers. It will attract retail. It will attract a lot of things to help to spur this side of Monticello and St. Paul's Boulevard. So thank you to St. John's for coming. Reverend Burton is my neighbor. I found out I had another neighbor too that lives out in Poplar Halls that spoke tonight. But thank you all for coming, and thank you for engaging, and thank you for participating in the process. I vote aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Just a few words. I was listening carefully to everyone who came to speak before us. And Miss Sarah Kingsley Foley, I think that in listening to her words, saying that she was in much need, as well as many of our citizens here in the city of Norfolk, affordable housing for young professionals. It is truly difficult to find a nice place to live that is affordable for young people, and not just for young professionals, but people such as our police officers, our teachers, those citizens who are ordinary, everyday people who work extremely hard here in our city, and they too deserve a nice place to live. And you also stated about living where you work. I'm very fortunate that I live, work, and play in the community of Broad Creek. And it does truly make a difference to be able to do those things where you live. But what most excites me is the great opportunity that this is just a start, and that I'm encouraging other developers to take the opportunity to submit your proposals so that we, the city of Norfolk, can provide you the much needed resources so that you too will have an opportunity to make our city a great place to live. So thank you to all of the citizens who are here tonight. It is most appreciated. Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Just with regard to Mr. Austin, who I always like seeing here and love listening to, whether it's here or outside of council. One issue to keep in mind, I think Mr. Austin asked why SL Nussbaum. One thing to keep in mind is SL Nussbaum's corporate headquarters are right across the street. So I think that we can all rest assured that in the downtown area, that the project that will go up and that will be managed appropriately is literally at the front door of their corporate headquarters, which is right in the, with less than a block away. So I think there's any concern about that, then I think that's more than alleviated with the professional conduct of the firm itself. And I believe that they will manage it and build it appropriately. So I'm aye.
Mr. Riddick?
I vote aye.
Mr. Smigiel?
Councilman Protogiru stole a little bit of my words. My good friend, Joe Austin, I do have to disagree with you on this one. Where are you, Joe?
He left.
Oh, he left. Oh, never mind. I just like Councilwoman Williams, when this project first came up, I had a lot of heartburn about it. And I think taking the time for a year and going back over it and redesigning it, looking at what the purpose of this is has really had given me the opportunity to change my mind about the project. I think we need a catalyst for really getting this going over there. And fortunately, SL Nussbaum has the financing and the backing to be able to do this. And hopefully it will spur some other development. You know, SL Nussbaum manages some great properties in my ward over by the military base. I had an opportunity recently to take a tour of it and see their upgrades there, and the people that were coming in and trying to get rental agreements were people that need housing. They need places to live, and they need affordable places. I think it's going to be a good project for our city, and I do support it. Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
If I had a dream for housing in Norfolk, it would be that every project that we agree to would provide housing that is affordable. My dream for this project would be that it were mixed income and not only offering 6 market rate units. I would have liked this unit to be, as we spent many hours and much money on with the St. Paul Quadrant study, and that was that we wanted mixed income and mixed use. So that would include also retail. That being said, I've spent many hours, and I very much thank both Johnsons and Mr. Leon, and particularly Peter Chapman, for going over and over and over this with me. The design is 1,000% better than where we started. I'm convinced by others that the fact that Nussbaum will be there 24 hours a day and will ensure that this will be safe and mandated gives me much solace. I'm not totally convinced that this will be a stimulus to St. Paul's. I think mixed income and mixed use would have been a much better way for us to start out this project. That being said, on compromise, I'm going to vote aye.
Mr. Nguyen?
I want to say something. I'm going to recuse myself because my company has been working with the different principals of Nussbaum for over 40 years, and they've been building in this community for, I think, over 100. And I don't know of any project, commercial, retail, office buildings that has not been well-built and well-maintained. As Tommy stole a little of my thunder, you can ride down Little Creek Road from Hampton Boulevard all the way to Shore Drive, and Nussbaum's got their fingerprints on several projects were built in the 60s and 70s that are as nice as many of the projects being built today. But I will recuse myself, but I'm glad that they've chosen to invest here.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Well, thank you all for coming out this evening. I think it's really been a great process, by the way. And so, again, I mean, that concludes the discussion, for at least for the time being, right? Okay. All right, thank you all. Okay, R1.
R1 is an ordinance granting a special exception to permit the operation of an automobile and truck repair facility named Bud's Used Tires and Brake Services on property located at 3345 North Military Highway. And by a 4-2 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
All right, Mr. Sachs is here and Mr. Martin to answer questions if we have any. Or you can call the roll.
Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Nguyen?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, R2.
An ordinance granting a special exception and authorizing the operation of an entertainment establishment known as MP Island Cafe on property located at 5957 East Virginia Beach Boulevard, Suites 5, 6, and 7. And by 2-4 vote, Planning Commission recommends denial.
And Mr. Palmer is here to answer questions if we have any. We had a presentation earlier, Mr. Palmer. Okay, you can call the roll.
Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Nguyen?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. R3 and 3A, please.
R3 is an ordinance granting a special exception authorizing the operation of an entertainment establishment named Smart Mouth Brewing Company on property located at 1309 Raleigh Avenue. And on both these items, Mr. President, by a 6-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
And Mr. Nykerk, Chris, where are you? Is here.
Miss.
Oh, Chris, I'm sorry.
Chris, yeah.
The brains of the
Are
operation.
they both there, right? Okay. Okay, call the roll.
Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye, of course, but I also think, Kevin O'Connor said something recently, and perhaps if we can, managers start looking into it. These companies, Smart Mouth, O'Connor, and also the new ones that are coming in, it all breeds on each other. And I think that we ought to, just like the Arts District had come about, we had discussed that over a period of time until it finally came to fruition. Let's look and see what we can do for incentives to build a critical mass in this area. I know Smart Mouth on Raleigh, I get it, and there are others in the other sections of the city. But let's look at, if we take the Chelsea area, we take the 25th Street area, and start deciding and giving incentives that are needed to have other breweries come in. This is one where competition is not an issue. It's really where you build one and more will come. So, and it's only better for the city. So if we could, let's make sure that that's something that we look at and it becomes an agenda item for us, whether it's the retreat or down the road, short notice. But see what economic incentives we can give. What can we do that not only helps the existing breweries and their tasting rooms survive, but also what new ones we can lure and what entrepreneurial spirit can be used through economic development to get others to also join in. And, if we give a credit to Smartmouth or O'Connor as part of an incubator here, then let's do it. Let them get the credit that they need, and let's just keep this growing. So,
I thought we had
look at-
four new ones are coming up within the next
Right.
6 months.
But I'm
I would actually like to see us incentivize other parts of the city.
I was going to say the
Ocean
I
View.
think,
thing.
yeah, I actually would agree with Tommy.
Yeah.
We need to be bringing
The
these
merrier.
out to other areas.
Take on one.
But you've already got a critical mass, and I'm not saying don't incentivize elsewhere, but you've got a critical mass in a spot that needs that help, that industrial area where it's currently sitting, which is it's your ward.
Yeah, that's.
And I'm saying
I can't
incentive-
keep up with how many are coming.
Incentivize there,
Is that with the drinking?
But I'm not saying.
You've been there?
Yeah.
But if
Keep up with the-
if we can lure the tasting rooms and the breweries other, that's fine. But I think let's get them together, let's sit down with them, see what they want, see what they need, see what makes it even stronger, bigger, and better. Because we can really take this. And that's just my thought. If it's there, it's there. See what they say. But we've got to make them part of the equation when we come up with something. Aye.
Mr. Riddick.
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel.
And I agree with everything that Andy said, and I think that one thing that we can look at too as an incentive is our water costs, because we have a lot of water, and maybe there's a way to incentivize using that, and that reducing the cost of that. And we do have some extra water, don't we, City Manager? If anybody wants to help clean it and process it, right? But aye.
Dr. Whibley.
Aye.
Mr. Wynn.
Aye.
Mr. Frame.
Aye.
3A is an ordinance granting a special exception to permit the operation of a microbrewery named Smartmouth Brewing Company on property located at 1309 Raleigh Avenue. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves.
I like Andy's idea, and I think we should sit down with them and find out what they need, and then incent them to the east side of town and to bring them over into maybe the south side of town and give them some incentives to come over to other sides of town where there are other residents who also like breweries. So I vote aye.
Ms. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru.
Aye.
Mr. Riddick.
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel.
Aye.
Dr. Whibley.
Aye.
Mr. Wynn.
Aye.
Mr. Frame.
Aye. Thanks very much. Appreciate y'all coming. Thank you. R4?
An ordinance granting a special exception authorizing the operation of an eating and drinking establishment named Lemongrass Grill on property located at 725 West 21st Street, and for this and 4A by 6-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves.
Aye.
Ms. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru.
Aye.
Mr. Riddick.
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel.
Aye.
Dr. Whibley.
I think Mr. Riddick would agree with me that we hope that this group could come and cater the city council dinner. Am I correct?
Right.
All right, aye.
Mr. Wynn.
Aye.
Mr. Frame.
Aye. R5?
We have 4A, Mr. President. That is an ordinance granting a pedestrian commercial overlay development certificate permitting alterations to a building to create an outdoor dining space on property located at 725 West 21st Street. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves.
Aye.
Ms. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru.
Aye.
Mr. Riddick.
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel.
Aye.
Dr. Whibley.
Aye.
Mr. Wynn.
Aye.
Mr. Frame.
Aye. We ready? R5?
Ready. An ordinance granting a special exception authorizing the operation of an eating and drinking establishment named Le Grand Kitchen on properties located at 4513 through 4515 Colley Avenue. By 6-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves.
Aye.
Ms. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru.
Aye.
Mr. Riddick.
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel.
Aye.
Dr. Whibley.
Aye.
Mr. Wynn.
Aye.
Mr. Frame.
Aye. R6?
An ordinance granting a special exception to permit the construction of a fence on property located at 231 West Bellevue Avenue. By a 6-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves.
Aye.
Ms. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru.
Aye.
Mr. Riddick.
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel.
Aye.
Dr. Whibley.
Aye.
Mr. Wynn.
Aye.
Mr. Frame.
Aye. R7?
An ordinance granting a special exception authorizing the operation of an eating and drinking establishment named Hair of the Dog Eatery on property located at 4820 Hampton Boulevard, Suites B and C. By a 6-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
Finn Law is here to answer questions about hair of the dog, if anybody has. That's okay. Sorry, Finn.
Just wanted to say that.
I just did. Finn. Finn, good luck, man, okay?
Should
Luck with the name,
have
too.
theme music for that.
Okay, call the roll.
Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves.
Aye.
Ms. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru.
Aye.
Mr. Riddick.
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel.
Aye.
Dr. Whibley.
Aye.
Mr. Wynn.
Aye.
Mr. Frame.
Aye. R8 and what, 8A?
Yes, sir. An ordinance granting a special exception authorizing the sale of alcoholic beverages for off-premises consumption at an establishment known as 7-Eleven on property located at 735 East Ocean View Avenue. By 6-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
Okay, again, there are a number of folks signed up to address the council on this matter. When I call your name, if you would please come to the podium and tell us your full name and present home address, and then limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Mr. Romine.
Just wants to answer a question. And he just want to answer.
Good evening, Mayor Frame and members of City Council. For the record, my name is Steve Romine, local attorney for 7-Eleven, and address 999 Waterside Drive, Norfolk. I have with me Jay Corum tonight. He's the real estate manager of 7-Eleven, who'll be able to answer questions. We are requesting that City Council approve 2 special exception applications in order for us to build a 2,940 square foot coastal cottage design convenience store with 6 dispensers for gas and will operate 24 hours a day, the corner of East Ocean View Avenue and Chesapeake Boulevard. I will not try to be repetitive on what's in the staff report. This is the corner where there's an existing Heritage Bank building that's been vacant and closed for 3 years. The site is located in a C2 corridor commercial district, which permits the use by a special exception, which we're asking for tonight. Very briefly, this is part of a master plan for the whole corridor along Shore Drive in Ocean View. 7-Eleven intends to spend close to $10 million converting and upgrading its existing stores into a coastal cottage design plan. This is the first store in that plan. We believe it'll be a significant improvement to the existing site, will improve and blend architecturally with the existing cottage line corridor. Single serves will not be sold there. The building will meet fenestration requirements, 50% fenestration on East Ocean View, 25% on Chesapeake Boulevard. I think you have some pictures in your package. Real quickly, I'd like to just show you the coastal cottage design because I think it's very attractive. Standing seam steel roof, a hardy plank shingle siding, and a blue tone color. We worked extensively with Planning Commission, spent about 4 months redesigning the site, reversed the layout to put the back of the store on East Ocean View Avenue and provided glass all around. We are closing an existing store at 909 East Ocean View Boulevard. There's about 800 current loyal customers there. We have a lot of them here tonight, and if with your permission, I'll ask them to stand at the end of my presentation. And that store will be closed in accordance with the condition in the application. We're a good corporate citizen, pay significant taxes, and contribute to the employment. So in closing, because I have limited time, 7 great reasons to approve this. First, as part of a master plan, we'll introduce coastal cottage design along the corridor, $10 million investment. The store was designed with much input from the Planning Commission, and we have good traffic circulation, layout, enhanced landscaping, and a buffer wall between us and the Royal Mesa Apartments. We're closing the old store at 909 East Ocean Avenue with 800 regular customers. No single serves. All the immediate civic leagues support the application. We met with them on an extensive basis, 4 of them, and they're in support. It's zoned for this use and consistent with the comp plan. We have the staff recommendation support, and we have Planning Commission recommendation of support as well. So there's 24 conditions that control our development. And with your permission, Mayor, I'd ask the neighbors to stand up who took their time Tuesday to come. Would those in favor of the store please stand? Thank you very much, and I'll stand by for questions.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Bob Layton.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, I'm Bob Layton, 1501 Bayville Street, Norfolk, 23503. I speak tonight on behalf of myself, Don Williams, Sybil Stone Cox, and Wayne Brown. All of us have a long history of involvement with planning in Ocean View. We ask with passion that you deny this application. We have previously provided each of you a copy of an op-ed piece that we signed and was published in the Virginian Pilot. We believe what we made as points in that article provide compelling arguments to deny the application. We acknowledge that approving the application would provide some short-term benefits to a limited number of people in Cottage Line. We do strongly believe that approval will carry with it a host of long-term negatives that vastly outweigh the short-term benefits. We know of no master plan that said Ocean View needed more convenience stores and gas stations along that corridor. One primary benefit cited, the closure of the store at 909 East Ocean View, will likely occur on its own without this permit being granted. 7-Eleven has recently closed stores at Mason Creek and also on East Ocean View. Just a few years ago, they closed a store a long block away down Chesapeake Boulevard, but 1 block away from this proposed location, 9300 Chesapeake Boulevard. It would seem that convenience stores without gas are now dinosaurs. And it is with that in mind that we say it will close itself, maybe not quite as fast as this approval, if you give it, would close it, but it will be gone. It just doesn't work as a business model anymore. We find it difficult to comprehend that you would bring this application to a vote without having seen what is going to ultimately be proposed for the site that you have contracted to sell to a residential developer immediately adjacent to this site. Seeing how the two are going to interface and hearing how one will hurt or help the other needs to be vetted before this application is approved. I thank you for the opportunity to speak. We hope there is wisdom in your decision. Thank you.
Bob, thanks for coming down. It's good to see you again. Steve Blevins is the engineer who's here to answer any questions, if anybody has any. All right, Michelle Farmer.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am a local Norfolk cab driver. I've been a resident here for 28 years on and off. I have seen this property in particular go from very bad to where it is today. I can say that I can go at that property at any given time and feel safe. I have watched it grow from where it was no business to where it is today. And I totally, 100% believe that you need to approve this move in the 7-Eleven for the community. I really do. Because the business and the tax, where it was then and where it can go is a very good it's very good for the community. It really is.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming down. Ted Savalas.
Good evening. My name is Ted Savalas. I own a home at 1325 Botetourt Gardens and have an apartment at 1105 East Ocean View in Norfolk. Starting about a year ago, most of the 7-Elevens in Norfolk started participating in a kind of frequent spender program wherein customers get 5 points for every purchase they make in a 7-Eleven. Customers can redeem these points, 30 for a free banana, 50 for a free Big Gulp, and so forth. At the top of that tier, you can exchange 1,000 points for the opportunity to name a Slurpee flavor of the month. Well, I don't do a good job saving or investing money, but Mr. Romine and his clients should be pleased that I sure did rack up those points and was able to name a Slurpee flavor back in June. I share this anecdote as a means of demonstrating that I'm not an enemy of 7-Elevens. Let's set that aside for now. What I really came to discuss tonight is character. The only other time I addressed City Council was nearly 30 months ago during a hearing about the Hotel and Conference Center project currently under downtown construction. Back then, I also spoke about character, the character of a city. Tonight, I want to talk about the character of a neighborhood and what makes it hip. The Silver Lake section of LA, the Lower Garden District of New Orleans, the Intermission District of San Francisco, Wicker Park in Chicago, the U section of DC, Williamsburg, not the one up the road, but the one that's in the borough of Brooklyn. These aren't Soho, South Beach, Market Street, Adams Morgan, the places that everyone in the world seems to know, and that used to be truly hip, but where now you see through-the-roof rents, corporate franchise restaurants, lawyers and investment bankers buying condos, valet parking, Planet Hollywood, and the Gap. By its very nature, hip is something ephemeral and ultimately indefinable, yet you know it when you see it by the way a place looks and feels. Entrepreneurs and artists generally lead the charge, always on the search for space that can be rented cheaply, but they want atmosphere too. Buildings with character, buildings with characters hanging around outside, places to walk, maybe a waterfront, a bit of edginess, and not too far from downtown. Then come the coffee shops and the galleries. An old tavern in the area begins booking alternative rock bands and offering microbrews on tap. Old houses remain, affordable and some unaffordable, renovated or new homes, apartments, and condominiums pop up. Each of the hip neighborhoods in that group I mentioned first bears these characteristics. These neighborhoods are incubators of entrepreneurship and artiness, community cohesiveness, interest, quirkiness, and yes, tax revenue. Those same characteristics should be familiar to everyone in this room. The city has done a good job with Granby Street, and you see hipness happening there. I contend that if you look a bit further, you would see some of these same elements in Ocean View, with the potential for that neighborhood to become more than it is now. A neighborhood turning hip is, in part, a matter of encouragement, incentives, economics, and development, and that's your job. But here's something that you need to know. Those hip neighborhoods routinely fight proposals for businesses that are too mainstream. That being said, I understand the need to transform the corner of East Ocean View and Chesapeake into a viable entity that's on the tax rolls. That property has been fallow for 3 years, so it's about time. But I think it's important that the city remain the driver of events rather than the victim of circumstances by ensuring that the 7-Eleven project being proposed for that site adhere to architectural requirements set by the city and proposed by the developer for design, signage, and landscaping. Don't allow the developer to make changes along the way out of cost, expediency, or any other number of excuses. Another 7-Eleven pumping gas and selling lottery tickets, beer, and wine contributes nothing to the fabric or path of Ocean View, about how Ocean View can become a hip community. But without attentive oversight throughout the process, another 7-Eleven could have a damaging effect. So proceed with approving this 7-Eleven project, but do it in a way that not only adds to the city's coffers, but that creates stepping stones and not stumbling blocks to Ocean View's future and to what Ocean View can become. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Ted. Sandra Winfrey? Sandra Winfrey? Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Sandra Winfrey. I'm here on behalf of Royal Mesa Apartments, 9621 Chesapeake Boulevard, Norfolk, Virginia, 23503. And I'd like to comment on the proposal before you tonight. We've had numerous discussions before the Planning Commission, and we want to say that we have concerns about this project. I appreciate the fact that a number of people have come here tonight on behalf of 7-Eleven that are in that neighborhood apparently. However, a lot of my residents, we have 122 units, 99 of which are occupied at this time. A large portion of them are older people, and they have reflected through their surveys that I showed to the Planning Commission their objections for their health and safety, as well as other concerns. One of our biggest concerns is the idea of having a roadway built across the property. When we worked with the city and the transportation department in, let me see the exact date, 1997, when the bank was being considered and built through incentives, we had our own two ways into the property, one on each side of the property. We were approached by the city and the Planning Commission and the Transportation Department to merge our entrance, one of our entrances, move it and make it a joint entrance. We agreed to it. I have the paperwork right here if you'd care to see it. And at that time, it was agreed that there was going to be a bank, and that right-of-way and that easement right there would be for that bank property and for our property to get in and out of. Now, the plan that's being shown today and is indicated in this proposal, it says the proposed use and development will be constructed, arranged, and operated so as not to interfere with the use and development of neighboring properties in accordance with the, I think, the plan, the application, the applicable district regulations. We feel like this is a problem because what it's going to do is it's going to inject much more traffic than is indicated in your report. We disagree with the transportation study that's being presented because it leaves open the fact that you have a curb cut there and a requirement that you have a road that be accessible to the other property that's now vacant. We feel like that this is a severe inconvenience not only to our residents but a danger as well. And for that reason, we ask you to deny this as presented. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming down tonight. Okay, that concludes the list of folks who have signed up to speak. Okay, you can call the roll, please.
Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Before I vote, I just want to take a minute to just say I appreciate both sides coming down, and one of the things that we've seen over the course of the last, that I've seen over the course of the last few years is a lot of the franchised 7-Elevens going out of business or being bought out, or however way 7-Eleven corporate is working it, but they're being replaced by corporate 7-Elevens. And the reason that for me is significant is because there are some of the 7-Elevens are literally a hot mess. They just are. There's loitering. There's all kinds of stuff going on in the parking lot. And but what I have seen is in the corporate 7-Elevens, I have personally seen a difference in the upkeep and maintenance, in the security, in the lack of loitering, the lack of panhandling. We had a similar situation in Broad Creek with the 7-Eleven that is currently on the corner of Virginia Beach Boulevard and Ballantyne. And that was a gas station that was crappy. I grew up looking at it. It went from one crappy gas station to another crappy gas station. And although the residents of Broad Creek and Stonebridge and Middletown Arch at the time were not all unified, most of them were not happy with the 7-Eleven. But I said then what I say now, in that 7-Eleven with its landscaping, with its brick exterior, with its well-kept grounds, is night and day and then some over the crappy gas station that was there on the corner. And so not only that, the 7-Eleven that is at Military Circle is a corporate 7-Eleven. It's got security. That's a little hot spot for some interesting activity sometime, or at least it could be. But it's owned corporately, and it's well maintained. It is safe. It is. And there's not loitering or anything else going on there. You talk about neighborhoods. I use the 7-Eleven on Raby Road. I mean, I don't go get beer and wine. I go and get canned milk for my coffee. And if I run out of butter while I'm cooking, I'll go get butter for my baked potato. My husband might say, can you stop and bring some beer and chips for the game on Sunday or Monday night? But it's a convenience factor. If I don't want to go, I don't want to have to go into the Farm Fresh. And it's just, it's the convenience. It's the convenience factor. And I would venture to say that I live in a very nice neighborhood. And there are a lot of people who use that 7-Eleven in my neighborhood who are very upstanding people, and we don't have the loitering and we don't have the trash at that 7-Eleven. So I believe that 7-Eleven as a corporate entity takes pride in the stores that they build. You're really getting a twofer because they're doing away with 2 stores and putting in 1. And so unless they do something drastically different from what they have shown in the past, I tend to believe that the 7-Eleven will be, it will be visibly appealing to the eye, and it will not be anything other than an asset to the community. I hope that you all give the 7-Eleven a chance, and I can tell you that a lot of the people in Broad Creek who did not favor the 7-Eleven coming to the corner of Ballantyne and Virginia Beach Boulevard have said to me, you know, we weren't right on that one. I don't know if that's their way of saying they were wrong, but they said we weren't right, so I'll take it. But I think that this 7-Eleven will be the same way. I vote aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Well, I have to say, Bob, Mr. Layton is a constituent of mine, and I have always appreciated what he said. But I will say Tommy did get a hold of me on this one and talked to me about it yesterday. And I made some calls today to let people know that I would support Tommy on this. One thing I will say is, though, and for the manager, you need to be I believe that moving it down is more appropriate than closing and tearing down the other store. But I'm going to give you a big warning. There is no appropriate crosswalk from City Beach across to this 7-Eleven. This 7-Eleven is going to be inundated. It's shocking. Many people, of course, you live at Ocean View, but I can tell you that people who move to Norfolk go to the beach at Ocean View. To a point I've heard that some neighborhoods want to make their beach private. That being said, that City Beach area gets filled up with people on the weekends, and you have got to get your traffic control people to prepare an appropriate crosswalk with appropriate lights and lighting that will allow people to walk across the street and get in and out of that corner, because I have a very strong feeling there's going to be streams of people coming across the street. And as I look down, I'm looking down at the map of it. That has got to be something that we get on now and not wait. I appreciate what Mr. Layton said. I believed in the Ocean View Gateway and have. Unfortunately, also, I believe what Tommy says. This has sat for 3 years, and the market forces have done nothing with it. Even the apartments that were looking to go next door couldn't meet the price that was ultimately met here. Would it have been great to tear this down and put something else up? Sure. I get it, but I also understand where we're coming from with this. As to the apartments, the one thing I will say is, as I look at it, the upside is that the views from the Royal Mesa Apartments, and I'm sorry, ma'am, if you're still here, looking at it, the upside is this: your views remain unobstructed. You're looking over a one-story building, so your views of the bay appear to remain unobstructed, at least for that building that is closest to Chesapeake Boulevard. And that being said, as Bob, I apologize. I don't know if many politicians do that, but I'm telling you, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to support Tommy on this one. You're right in everything you said, but I still have to support Tommy, so it's aye.
Mr. Riddick?
At first, I thought I was going to be able to support this, but after looking at proximity to it and looking at Bob Layton and Brown and Stone, who were planning commissioners, I don't know whether Don Williams was a planning commissioner or not. I know he was a council member, members House of Delegate. Was he on planning? He was. Yeah, so they wouldn't have got out of the planning commission with those 4 at the same time. And 7-Eleven, and I guess I'll have to see what they bring to the community. I had never seen a big donation to schools or community athletics. One of the things that causes me a lot of heartburn is I don't see a lot of African Americans employed in 7-Elevens unless it is in a predominantly African American neighborhood. So I think they have to do some changes to convince me. So I vote no.
Mr. Smigiel?
I first want to thank all of my constituents who came down today to support the 7-Eleven. After Councilwoman Williams' speech, 7-Eleven should consider naming a Slurpee after her for the month.
I should have gone to law school so I could be their lawyer.
Mr. Layton, in an email a couple months ago, said that if this passes, that I should get a plaque put over by the 7-Eleven. And, you know, I'm not ashamed for pushing this, and I'll give just a brief history of this. About 4 years ago, 7-Eleven started meeting with me about other 7-Elevens around the city. And every time I would go down to Mr. Romine's office and meet with 7-Eleven Ron Bernal, originally, we were always talking about renovating and rebuilding other 7-Elevens in the city. And finally, I hit a point with them after I supported probably about 4 or 5 7-Elevens. I said, when are you going to do something with the Ocean View 7-Elevens? They're colonial. They've been there forever. I grew up in Ocean View. They don't look trendy. They don't look like but I knew that they were loyal customers. Growing up in Ocean View, there used to be 8 7-Elevens in my ward in that area. Now there'll only be 4 after this. So they have been doing some reductions. And so they agreed and came back with a proposal to work with us on a coastal design and renovating and fixing up these stores. I do disagree with Mr. Layton that this one would eventually shut down. In fact, I believe this one makes about $3 million a year. Am I correct in that? So I don't think $3 million a year is going to shut down a 7-Eleven anytime soon. You know, our previous city leaders had the luxury of eminent domain and could go after lots of property in Ocean View and Blight, and they could have take out 7-Elevens if they wanted to. We don't have that anymore. I've been on council now for 5 years. It's hard to believe that. In 5 years, I've looked at master plans for Ocean View that were all written or designed based off of eminent domain. And we have not been able to move Ocean View forward because we don't have the money to be able to invest a significant amount of money like they used to 20 years ago. So we've had to rely on creative ways to work with private developers, to work with existing property owners to fix up and renovate their stores. And to me, this is a no-brainer, and it's particularly a no-brainer when all 3 civic leagues, which is the political force of our city, that civic league members tell us they're the pulse of the community. All 3 civic leagues in that area agreed that this was a good project. I stop at 7-Eleven every once in a while. I stop at Dunkin' Donuts. I stop at Starbucks. I stop at anywhere that has coffee. With a 7-month at home. And when I go in 7-Eleven, I feel safe. Oftentimes you can hear conversations with the cashier on the other. They usually know their customers and what they like. They talk to them about what's going on in their lives. So it does bring a sense of community. Not every 7-Eleven does that, but there are places, and you can see by those who came down here on a Tuesday night, this may be the only council meeting you ever come to. And that's because you're loyal to your 7-Eleven. So I think that we also need to take that into consideration as well as we continue to do smart development in Ocean View. Right across the street from this at one time was a really rundown hotel, and we had the fortunate pleasure of finding $800,000 to buy that and preserve that waterfront property so that a 7-Eleven wouldn't go there. And now we're going to put one across the street, but it's good for our community. We need a place for gas stations. There's no gas station over there that we can stop at, and I will be stopping there and getting gas on my way home from work. But it is a good project, and almost everybody who has written us and opposed did not know that we were going to be tearing down the other 7-Eleven. They were thinking that this was going to be another one within a 2-block zone, and we are tearing down the other one. And that's a good thing for us as well, and we appreciate 7-Eleven working with us on that. Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Wow. I mean, I am frustrated that this 7-Eleven, as Tommy said, is considered a good plan for Ocean View. I do like the design. I give you credit for that. I just am amazed that we would take this prime property and put a 7-Eleven on it. I just find that almost unbelievable. That being said, Tommy says this is what you all want. I don't agree with you. I think you're making a big mistake, but I'll support you if this is what you want. So I'll vote aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Yeah, I like most of what I feel has been said. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Bob Layton and Sybil and Don. They're great friends, and they've worked really hard for this city, and what they believe and what they feel means a lot to me. I've really spent a lot of time thinking about it. It's been a long time in coming. 7-Eleven has been very flexible in what they would do. It's a nice building. 3 civic leagues, 4 neighborhoods adjacent to it, want it to happen. I am a little disappointed in the maintenance, exterior maintenance, especially of not company stores. I know we approved one at Newtown and Virginia Beach Boulevard, and it looks like the minute they do the city minimum, that's the last time anybody goes outside. I'm sensitive to that because I'm in the landscape business. Somebody better start taking better care of these stores, or you're going to lose me totally. I'm telling you, because the corporate stores get more attention, but you've got to have some control. And I see them at the beach. There's one in Lynn Haven and Princess Anne. It looks like hell. And there's one, they're everywhere. I'm all over Hampton Roads, and I guess it bothers me more than it bothers most people. But you have been flexible. As I say, I have so much respect for some people that are opposed to this. But, I'm going to vote aye.
Mr. Frame?
Bob, I appreciate you coming down here tonight. I've read your comments and Don's and Sybil's and Wayne's, and I'm reminded that it was, you and others, Ernie Morgan, I could go through the list, and it inspired us in 1987 to change the general plan in Ocean View and really come forward with sort of a roadmap for the redevelopment of Ocean View. I was actually at most of those meetings in '97 when we talked about, the changing road, the curb cuts and things like that. And so times have changed some, Bob, and I'm much like Terry, I'm surprised that the Civic Leagues actually support this. There's one lady who lives close by who I have a lot of regard for, who was there in the beginning too, actually said very positive things about this project today to me, and about the need to have some place to buy gas. I know this was always going to be a gateway project. I think, the community now is at the point where they're embracing this. As you know, we were trying to tear all this stuff down way back when, so maybe not the best, but certainly better than it is there. It's a long way from being the best, but it's better than what we have here today, so I'm going to vote aye. Okay.
8A, Mr. President.
Right.
An ordinance granting a special exception to permit a convenience store 24 hours with fuel sales known as 7-Eleven on property located at 735 East Ocean View Avenue. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye. No, I'm sorry.
Okay, I have that.
Hey, Cameron, too fast.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. R10,
R9, Mr. President.
R9?
9 and 9A.
Okay, right, okay.
R9 is an ordinance granting a special exception authorizing the sale of alcoholic beverages for off-premises consumption at an establishment known as 7-Eleven on property located at 3805 Collie Avenue. And for 9 and 9A, by 6-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
All right, Mr. Romine is here with his bag of tricks again if we need any, but that's okay, Steve. I think we're ready to vote. Yeah,
I
okay.
told you I should have gone along.
Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
I thought this 7-Eleven already sold off premises alcohol, do they?
They do.
Does this one already sell off-premises alcohol, Mr. Romine?
They did. George said yes.
Yeah, we have to, because we're renovating the fuel, we have to get new permits. So it already sells alcohol, but we'll also now be limited to no single serves.
This one is there, I vote aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye.
9A is an ordinance granting a special exception to permit a convenience store 24 hours with fuel sales known as 7-Eleven on property located at 3805 Collie Avenue. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. R11.
R10, Mr. President. An ordinance permitting back.
Having a hard time tonight. Will somebody open that back door so we can get a little breeze? maybe a little air.
An ordinance permitting Baxter's to encroach into the city's right-of-way on Butte Street and approving a third amended encroachment agreement with Granby Restaurants LLC, trading as Baxter's for property at 500 Granby Street. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, R11.
An ordinance to revoke the permission granted to Sweet Teas Norfolk LLC to encroach into the right-of-way of Granby Street at 345 Granby Street for the purpose of outdoor dining. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
I didn't read through all of this one. Why are we revoking?
The Sweet Teas is no longer at this location.
Oh, they moved down
Yes,
the,
yes,
okay,
it no
so
longer needs
they
it.
were here before. We gave them permission for the
Yes.
other, okay, so this
They-
is at the
They have what they
previous.
want, and this is just redundant.
Okay,
Right.
aye. Thank you.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, R12.
An ordinance permitting 245 Granby Street LLC to encroach into the right-of-way of Bush Street and Tazewell Street with a fire escape, a stair, cornices, awnings, and pilasters. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, R13.
An ordinance permitting the Hermitage Foundation to encroach into the right-of-way of Hampton Boulevard with two wayfinding signs. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Bernard, my wife is on one of their boards. She doesn't get paid. She had a meeting
No, will
today.
you?
Can I still vote on this?
Sure.
Yes, it is my opinion that she does not have, since she's an advisory agency and not a policy agency, yes, it's my opinion you can vote.
She doesn't get paid. She's a volunteer board member.
Right.
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, R14.
An ordinance approving a non-exclusive conduit construction franchise agreement with CenturyLink Communications LLC. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, R15.
An ordinance approving a non-exclusive telecommunications franchise agreement with Cavalier Telephone LLC. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. 16.
An ordinance to amend and reordain sections 25-653 and 654 of the Norfolk City Code 1979 so as to add 27 new yield intersections and 5 new stop intersections.
Okay.
Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Just a question. These are 27 yield signs in one neighborhood, correct?
In Larchmont.
In Larchmont?
Yes.
Okay. You sure you guys want 27 yield signs?
Larchmont know they're, does Larchmont know they're coming?
They asked for this.
Yeah, it's been through the city.
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Stay out of Whibley's ward, will you?
I'm just trying to help.
Dr. Whibley?
I said aye.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
It's okay. I mumbled, I guess. Aye.
Very clear. Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. R17.
An ordinance accepting the donation of $27,000 to the city from the Hampton Road Sanitation District and appropriating and authorizing the expenditure of the $27,000 for the construction of the Lavalette Avenue Canoe Kayak Launch and Fishing Dock. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
I wish this could have been done a year or so ago. One of my good friends was waiting at that fishing dock, but he's passed away now, so I vote aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
He's catching all the fish he can handle. Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. R18.
An ordinance approving a lease of certain property located at 910 Ballantine Boulevard from the Norfolk Redevelopment and Housing Authority and authorizing the city manager to negotiate and execute a lease agreement on behalf of the city. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. R19.
An ordinance approving the acceptance of the Norfolk Adult Drug Treatment Court Grant Award of $250,000 from the Supreme Court of Virginia for for the Adult Drug Court Program and program fees up to $10,000, and appropriating the grant funds and program fees and authorizing the expenditure of $78,750 from previously appropriated funds as a local cash match. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
If I could say something. Keep in mind that our drug court has been the model for everyone around the state. We were the first who started this. Our personnel, our judges who have been backing this and have pushed this for years. There are other jurisdictions that I go to, there is no help. But in Norfolk, we do have a help, and this money is extremely important, and if we can find more, let's find more. Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, R20.
An ordinance accepting a $45,000 Virginia Sexual and Domestic Violence Victims Fund Grant Award from the Virginia Department of Criminal Justice Services for the support of personnel costs for a program paralegal to assist in the prosecution of misdemeanors and felonies involving domestic violence, sexual abuse, stalking, and family abuse, and appropriating and authorizing the expenditure of grant funds for payroll, medical benefit coverage, and retirement expenses for program employee. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, R22.
An ordinance accepting a $347,162 Victim Witness Grant Award from the Virginia Department of Criminal Justice Services for the continuation of the Victim Witness Assistance Program, appropriating and authorizing the expenditure of the grant funds for the program, and authorizing the hiring of 8 people for the program in a special project employment status. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, this is 22.
An ordinance to amend and reordain Norfolk City Code 1979 to add a new subsection F to City Code Section 34.1-60 to authorize taxi cabs to contract for additional charges for additional services.
Yeah, I'd like to, I'm still concerned that this is in violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And so the attorney has agreed to provide me with that additional information. So I'd like to continue this.
The motion is to continue to.
October 13 would be.
October 13, okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, call the roll.
Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Do we have a little bit more context on this? I mean, where did it come from? Because you said this was given to you.
Yes, I believe it's a request from the providers of this service that we do regulate taxi cab rates, and some people on occasion, rather than calling an ambulance, use a service in between, and that it is a higher service than just driving, and so it's medically related. It doesn't permit emergency treatment, so it's in between a ambulance and a regular taxi cab, so it's for medical transport in that window, and it's only by contract. And so that the excess has to be agreed to between the taxi cab driver, the provider, and the recipient of the service. And so that there is reported to be a need for something in between an ambulance and a taxi cab drive, and this is trying to fit that need.
Okay. So because Councilman Riddick asked for a delay, I'll vote to delay it. But it sounds like your team already went through this, but that's okay.
Yes, and I'd like to be 100% certain there was something we missed.
For sure. Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. It'll be 23.
An ordinance to amend and reordain subsection C of Section 29-70.1 of the Norfolk City Code 1979 so as to restrict the volume of small performances in late evening hours. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Small performance.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
I love the way it's.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
All performances in late evening hours. Restricted. Yes.
This is important now.
24, I know.
An ordinance to change the starting time of the regular weekly city council meeting scheduled for Tuesday,
Large
September 22, 2015 at 7 p.m. to September 21, 2015 at 8:30 a.m. and to move the location of said meeting. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. R25.
An ordinance approving the conveyance to the City of Norfolk by Norfolk Redevelopment and Housing Authority of certain parcels of property located between 24th Street and 27th Street that are currently part of the Lamberts Point redevelopment project, and authorizing the city manager to accept the deed on behalf of the city. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye.
That's all I have, Mr. President.